Alright, this is April 11th, Saturday. Yesterday, I got all my planting done, but I was constantly fighting with this planter to get it functioning correctly. I got it to work good enough. On my last 7 or 8 rows of peas, I actually took off the shovel cultivators or plows and ran it without those. Okay, now Covington, there's two components. This is your planter, okay? This is your cultivator frame. Their thought process was, back in the day, a man would plant with the cultivators on to correct for compaction on his tractor. Then he'd go up to the barn, remove the planter assembly, and he had a straight cultivator, and then you would adjust it accordingly. And I had these big shovels or plows and a small plow, two on each side, one big on each side, one small on each side. Now in another facility, I had this this is a county line cultivator. The plows on it are the little chisel point. We call them scratchers down here, because when I had my plows in the ground using it as cultivate and break up compaction, they were digging about 8 inches deep. It was just horrendous. And I adjusted this thing 10 ways from Sunday, and I got a book. I used the book. I just couldn't get it right. So put these narrow points on, pulled my wide shovels off, or my wide plows off. The planter is supposed to be level, not the cultivator. There's two settings. I'm on the upper hole, and then you got a lower hole. Now, looking at the geometry, if I go to the lower hole, okay, that will raise up the back of the planter, and then I level everything up again. It's going to be plowing even deeper on the cultivators. And I'm alright plowing too deep as it is. I had a problem with the pants on the fertilizer drop. That was brand new, and silly me, I assumed it was correct coming from Covington, and it was bent. So I had to bend it out to get it more centered in my fertilizer tray below the hopper, because it was hanging up. Anyway, I got that fixed. Got it all greased up now. It's ready to go back into storage area until I either plow more ground or use it next year. And the book is less than ideal on how to set one of these things up. And I've watched multiple YouTube videos trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. And it wasn't very helpful either. And I watched a bunch of them. And one thing I noticed on most of them, whoever was using it would get off and scratch his head a bit, start making more adjustments, and try again. Well, I know it's frustration. But anyway, I think I got it licked now. And like I said, got it all greased up, put back into storage. Up here on this little Yanmar, I got a new steering wheel. This old steering wheel is pretty weathered and pretty much tearing my hands up. So I'm trying to get it off and install this new steering wheel I had from another rebuild. And I'm going to save this cultivator frame. I might get some row builders to mount to it. That's where you pull in from the sides and build a row up higher than ground level. All the planting I did yesterday was just flat planting. I've done that all the time. It works well. But I've got this frame here now, so I might get some row builders and try a different type of crop somewhere. Haven't quite decided if it's going to be up here or down there at the factory garden spot. Down there at the factory, my little squash is just popping out the ground left and right. Y'all can't see it. You might be able to hear it. Nice little gentle rain coming down the day after I planted. It couldn't time it out no better. Anyway, that's all for this one. I'll get to changing out that steering wheel, see how that goes. Thank you.